Well, welcome to my channel, Sandy Toe Tarot. My name is Laura. It is a pleasure to be here with you today and to read for you. I think I have a pretty exciting reading here today. I did another reading to find out what Spirit wanted me to do a reading about. I've been doing that a lot lately just to, see what Spirit wants to talk to y'all about instead of what I want to talk about. And so the reading that came up was, what are your strengths? So when Spirit has a topic like that, of course you know what your strengths are, but maybe you need a little bit of a reminder of what they are, or maybe you're getting ready to come into a situation where you're going to be called upon to use those particular strengths. And we all have a whole bunch of skills, and so maybe you've been focusing on something that doesn't take your more predominant strengths to do, and this is just saying that maybe you will be coming across a situation that you'll be using those strengths more in the near future. For some of you, there might be some things that come out that you don't know necessarily that is a strength of yours. So this is just Spirit saying, hey, you've kind of got this innate ability here. You might want to consider trying to work with somebody that is a guru in that particular thing, or take some classes on that particular thing, or you might just want to do more practice to develop it. Basically, we're just talking about what your strengths are today, and I'm reading the cards as in the readings. I haven't pulled any cards. The only cards I have down here are just some pretty cards to help you choose. Maybe one of these pictures strikes your fancy. One of the reasons that I did this is because I have these beautiful love oracle cards, and I don't use them that often because I don't do love and romance readings that often. But I will be doing one here shortly, like in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to do a love and romance reading because it has been a while, but I don't do them very often. It's not really my specialty, and there are so many tarot readers out there that do them better than I do. So every once in a while I want to talk about love, so if I want to talk about it, then I will. But mostly I don't do those. I do other things. So anyway, this reading is just going to be about what your strengths are. This is what Spirit wants you to at least focus on for the next little bit. I will be talking about personality traits, maybe a little bit about others, how others see you, and then also what your spiritual gifts might be. All right. I'm going to tell you what the stones are on here in case you want to choose based on the stone. On pile 1 is a citrine. On pile 2 is a rose quartz. On pile 3, an Arrowhead Obsidian. On pile 4, Sodalite. And again, I'm going to pan this, well, I don't know if I'm going to pan it, but I'm going to put a picture of this up so that you can take a look at these pictures close up and see if maybe one of those is speaking to you. They're just very, very pretty. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize to my male subscribers out there. All of these pictures in this particular deck of women or people by themselves, they're all of women. If there are there can be two people in them, and there'll be a male and female, but just the ones that are people by themselves. There are no men alone in these cards. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that says. But anyway, I kind of wanted to give a depiction of a person in a situation that kind of maybe sparks from some familiarity for you, or speaks to your soul, or something like that. So that's why I chose these particular cards. Okay, so for those of you who already know how to do pick a cards, you can just click on the timestamp in the description box below, and that will take you directly to that section in the reading, whichever pile you choose. First, those of you who have not done a pick a card before, there's really no right or wrong way to choose. Basically, the best advice I can give you is to be kind of really instinctual about it. Don't overthink it. Some people will choose based on the stone. They like one of those stones. I gave you some pictures here. You can choose based on the picture. Some people just like one of those numbers, like number 4 is their number, so they'll choose that way. Some people find some synchronicities in the timestamps in the description box. And then some people just will close their eyes and take a few deep breaths, and then when they open their eyes, whichever one they're drawn to, that's the one for them. Like I said, it doesn't matter how you do it. Just don't overthink it. And I would suggest taking a deep breath however it is you decide. It just relaxes you a little bit, puts you in a more calm space. I don't know if you're like me. I can't breathe through my nose very well, so I walk around taking short breaths all the time, which is really not good. It's really not good for you. But so taking a deep breath, whichever way you choose, before you choose, is a good idea. But make your choice. Click on the time that's in the timestamp. It'll take you directly to that part in the video, and I will see you guys there. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 1 for your reading, what are my strengths? These are going to be your messages. Pile 1 did have the citrine on it and this beautiful picture. So I'm going to just pull cards as we go through this reading, and I will probably just go ahead and get all of them and then kind of talk about them. So I'll pull a few universal Waite first. So tell us what the strengths are for pile 1. What are pile 1's strengths? Pile 1. Whew. Okay, so the cards really want to talk about you guys. Strengths for pile 1. Got the Page of Swords. You got the 2 of Wands and the Hierophant card. Is there anything else about pile 1? Anything else from the Universal Waite? Okay. So I have these Sacred Contract cards. These are kind of archetype cards, so I'm going to pull a few of these. Got the Alchemist and Child Divine. I think I'll take another pass through them real quick for pile 1. Anything else you want to talk about? The strengths of pile 1. Anything else for pile 1? Anything else you want to say? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you got Damsel, Destroyer, and Student. I think I'll wait on the spiritual gifts until the end, but let's talk about this first, okay? So definitely I'm feeling some people in this group are a Taurus because you got a major arcana and a minor arcana for Taurus. So let's talk about what Taurus is. First of all, that is an earth sign, and the earth signs are really grounded. They're practical, they're stable. So that is telling me that that is kind of one of your strengths. The other thing about Tauruses are they're very gifted musicians, and I'm seeing that definitely. Some of you guys have beautiful singing voices. Okay, let me broaden that out. Some of you guys have beautiful singing voices. Some of you guys have great voices for something, like maybe on the radio, because you got the star card, so it's kind of out front. People not necessarily seeing you, but being a star in that field. So some of you may have a good radio voice. Some of you have a good singing voice. What else can you do with your voice? Cartoons, commercials, voiceovers, that kind of thing. So this is saying some of you definitely are good with that. You're gifted vocally, and maybe even just a speaker actually, but you're intended to use it to be in the limelight, and maybe this is just spirit telling you it's time to pursue that goal. if you had one. If you did not know this about yourself, which I kind of feel like if you're born to do something like this, you kind of know it. You know this is your strength. Maybe you've put it on the back burner a little bit, and Spirit's saying, okay, let's go ahead and bring that out again. Okay, so I did talk about in the intro a little bit, like maybe if something comes up in this reading, in these readings, that maybe you didn't know that you had this gift, or maybe it's been mentioned to you before, but Spirit wants to draw this out because they want you to learn about it more, to delve into it more, to take some classes, to study under somebody, to practice it more. So there is that element of this in this reading right here. It's saying it is time to pull this out, to work with it. You know, even good singers can have really bad days if they're not practicing. So this is saying you have this strength. Let's use it. Let's practice it. Okay, so the child divine is talking to me. Maybe this could really go toward the end, but you have a definite connection to the divine, and it's almost there's such a pure innocence about your connection to the divine. Like you maybe never doubted that. You didn't have to go searching for what it was that you believed in. You just kind of have always known that you believe and what you believe. So this is definitely saying that you have spiritual gifts and you have a spiritual connection. So that is one of your strengths. Draw upon that, because that is definitely your connection to the divine is a strength for you. So the alchemist is the ability to blend Okay, so I think this is kind of maybe talking about just relationships here. These two cards right here are talking about relationships. So it talks about the ability to blend this and that to make something really cool in a relationship. The damsel talks about being okay with being vulnerable, being good with romance, and that kind of goes along with the Taurus kind of thing, by the way, because they're very romantic. I think they're ruled by Venus, are they not? Is Venus their ruler? I'm not entirely sure about that, but they are very romantic. Okay, so what this is saying is that this is one of your strengths, that you are really good in relationships because you don't get caught up in power struggles. You realize that relationships are a blending of this and that to create something whole that is separate from the two people that come to the relationship. It's its own entity. You're blending this and that to make this wonderful relationship. And I love this card down here because I love you guys having this, because it kind of goes along with this sword this guy has in his hand. He is ready to he is ready to cut off anything that is not, I don't want to say, anything that is not helping in your growth as a human being, as a person, anything that is detrimental to your mental health, anything that is not serving your higher good. Now, that's not saying you cut off everybody that when you have a problem with somebody, because, you know, sometimes people come into our lives for a reason, to teach us a lesson or something. That's not what this is talking about. This is talking about having the guts to cut people and situations out of their life when they are bad for your soul, when they're destroying your soul. So that is a really good strength that you guys have. And again, remember I said in the intro, this might be drawing this out right now because it might be a situation you're getting ready to come upon, a situation where you're going to have to use the strengths that you have. So bear that in mind. You might be coming upon a situation where you need to cut something or somebody out of your life in order to maybe to preserve yourself. You don't want to let anybody beat up on you, or if people are not supporting you and loving you, that doesn't mean they have to agree with you all the time, but you don't want people around you that are berating you or belittling you or anything like that. Those people need to go. Or you at least need to limit your time with them if they're family or co-workers or whatever. And you cannot get away from them permanently. You at least need to limit your contact with them as much as possible. Okay, so the Hierophant also talks about religion, and you've got this divine child here, child divine thing here. So I really do feel like you have a serious spiritual belief or connection or religion that you subscribe to that is very good for you. Maybe this talks about traditional religion, so it may be one of the majors. Like, what are they? Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, Hindu, I think, are the 5 major religions of the world. No, don't quote me on that. That's just kind of what I remember from somewhere. So this kind of does talk about the traditional ones. So it seems like that you have a lot of faith, and that faith serves you very well. The only other card that we haven't talked about here is this 2 of Wands. And for me, this looks like a decision that's going to come up for you in the near future. And I think it might have to do with this. Needing to figure out if this situation is serving you or if it's not serving you, and whether you need to let it go or not. For some of you, it's this situation that you need to look out on the world and decide, okay, do I go out there and start doing that now? It's this gift that you have that you're just looking at options to pursue it right now is what's happening. Okay, so the last thing I want to get is what your spiritual gifts are. What are pile 1's spiritual gifts? That's the question on deck. Pile 1's spiritual gifts. So let's see what your spiritual gifts are. Sky Father, trust in the unknown. This, again, feels like the same. Your spiritual gifts are your tremendous faith. You have a childlike faith, and that doesn't mean childish. It means childlike. It's like you do not question it. You have a childlike faith in the divine, in God, whatever that means to you. It's called so many things, you know, God, the divine, Yahweh, divine pure white light, source, whatever that means to you. Your spiritual gift is your tremendous faith, unwavering, unquestioning. That is very much a gift for you, and it's absolutely your strength. So I don't know if you already know that, or is this is the reminder. It's like, don't forget, this is your strength. Your faith is your strength. Use that. Okay, that's all I have for my pile 1s. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Namaste. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 2, these are going to be your messages for what are your strengths. Pile 2 did have this rose quartz on it. Very pretty. And this beautiful lady here with the flowers in her hair and the animals. Okay. So I am pulling cards as we go along this time. So I'll get some cards first and we'll talk about it. And then at the end, we'll talk about what your spiritual gifts are, what your spiritual strengths are. So pile 2, tell us about pile 2. What are their strengths? What is their strengths? What are their strengths? What are the strengths for my viewers of pile 2? That's how you say it. Okay, so you got the 7 of Pentacles. You got the Judgment card. What else? What are the strengths of? That's way too many. Pile 2, strength. Okay, that's enough. Okay, you got the 10 of Pentacles. You got a lot of cards here. The 5 of Swords. The World card. Oh, that's interesting. Last 2 cards. 9 of Cups. And 4 of Cups. Last 2 cards in the Major Arcana. That's very interesting. Okay, I'm going to just pull some. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? I'll do it this way. Let's see if that works. I just need a little more room on the table here. So these are the Sacred Contracts cards. They are archetype cards. So I'm just going to see what we get for pile 2. You got Prostitute. What else for pile 2? Midas or Miser. And Avenger. Ooh. Anything else for pile 2? Let's do one more pass through just to see. Well, that sure wanted to pop out there. And so did that. And so did that. Okay. Femme Fatale and Gossip. Okay, I was already picking up on this. You guys are good with money. You guys are good at figuring out how to make money, how to keep money, how to invest money. There's a huge amount of analysis here, knowing when to strike and when not to strike. And that talks about investments, like if people want you to invest in things, you know exactly when it's a good idea to do it and when it's a good idea not to do it. So you guys are really, really good with the money. That's definitely showing up here. When you know when to walk away, you know when to run. That song, that old song, Kenny Rogers. I'm dating myself here, but that's the truth. That's just what that is saying. You got the Midas touch. So that is one of your strengths. Another one of your strengths down here. Now this prostitute also talks about figuring out how to use your gifts for money. It talks about a negotiation of power. Now money is just an exchange, right? So when we think about prostitutes, we're always, you know, we have a negative connotation to it. But this is really just talking about figuring out what gifts that you offer to the world, understanding the power behind the gifts that you offer the world, and understanding what the value of those gifts are, and using that to your advantage, basically. Strengths. What are your strengths? So this again, this judgment card again talks about discernment. It just talks about being able to make really good decisions, being very discerning. Almost, I'm getting, you know, the first pile had kind of an earth quality to it. I'm getting a bit of an earth quality to this pile as well. One of your strengths is also being able to let things go when it is time to walk away from a situation. You're really good at saying, okay, I'm going to have to walk away from this. It's not exactly, I'm not feeling it or whatever. It's not exactly jiving with me. It's not what I was looking for. It's a little bit blah. I'm a little bit dissatisfied with the outcome of this situation, so I am going to walk away. And here's the thing about how you guys do this, it's very loving. It's not, no anger whatsoever, no animosity. It's just you want the negotiation, or you want the situation to be beneficial to everybody. And if it's not, you know, if it's not working, then it's just not working. No judgment, right? So that's really, really cool about you guys. So one of your strengths is that you are very good at keeping a secret. If someone tells you something, they don't even have to tell you. Again, it comes back to that, just being very discerning. You're just very discerning. You guys are very much adults, I'm getting here. There's not a lot of childish behavior going on. You kind of got it together. So this is saying it. You don't. Nobody has to tell you. If they tell you something, if someone brings something to you, and it's of an intimate nature or it's of a personal nature, you automatically know that it's not your place to share that with anybody. You automatically know that information was given to you in confidence, and that's how it needs to stay. It needs to stay between you or that other person. So that makes you a really good confidant. Let me check this one out. Okay. So you like things to be fair. That might go right back with that judgment there. And you are willing to fight for what is right. You're willing to fight for people who are not being treated well, who are being marginalized in some way, or abused by the system in some way, or abused by people in some way. You want things to be fair, and when things are not fair, you are not afraid to fight for to fight for a cause, which is really, really cool. And this last thing talks about one of your strengths is you know that you're a very sensual person. You know how to use that effectively. I don't want to say effectively, that's not the right way. That's not the right word. It's not how to use it effectively. It's how to, you're responsible with your sensuality. You know that you are a very sensual and sexual person. You probably have your pick, I guess, as far as suitors go. But this, again, going back to that discernment, you use this responsibly, this sensuality that you have. So that's one of your strengths. Okay. So you guys are an interesting pile. I can tell you right now, this would not be my pile because I don't have any of these. I don't think I have any of these strengths. So good for y'all. Okay, so just the final thing I want to find out is what your spiritual gifts are, or what your spiritual strengths are. So let's just see what we can get on spiritual strengths and gifts for pile 2. 4 cards, says the candle. All right. So, Eagle, you are able to see things from a higher perspective. Again, goes back to that discernment. Track down your fears and your desires. That indicates that you have a gift, a spiritual gift for helping people when they come to you. It's almost like a psychologist kind of thing, a spiritual gift for helping them figure out what it is they're afraid of, because when they figure out what it is they're afraid of, they figure out what they want, what they really want out of life. okay, let's just say, for instance, that a really common fear is of being alone. Some people are afraid of growing old alone. So when they come to you, they might not even know that the way they're acting is based on that fear. They're doing things that, like they're going out with the wrong people just to have somebody, that kind of thing. They're doing things that keep them from, that, you know, it's manifesting, but it's not the problem. The problem is the fear of being alone. That's their fear. So once they track that down, that's the fear, I don't want to be alone, then they find their desire, which is to find a mate, a lifetime mate, okay? So you are gifted in helping people discover those kinds of things. Again, Sage just goes right along with that. People come to you, you're devoted, you're committed, you're a great listener. You can help them talk through these kinds of things and you will keep their confidence. And that's like a spiritual gift for you. That's what you offer to the world. Oh, all right, here we go. You are also in some way intuitive or psychic. That maybe you didn't know it. That honestly, I'm not gonna lie. With the rest of these cards here, I wasn't picking up on that. So this may be something that is new to you, something that's just now coming to you. The thought of it or the idea of it, or you're just now becoming interested in it. And Spirit is trying to tell you that you do have this gift if you choose to hone it, if you choose to practice it, if you choose to learn under somebody, or read about it, or there's so many ways to learn about mediumship and honing your intuition. Definitely books, definitely people can help you. So that's a surprise. Hell, I mean, sorry. So I don't know if you guys are surprised by that, but it seems a little bit like a surprise. I'm surprised with all the other things. This all seems very practical, very grounded kind of stuff about you as a person. That you're real cool, you know, like you're real, just a wise and solid and practical and grounded person. That's what's coming out in this. So this is a little more intuition. It's a little more watery. This all reads kind of earthy. This is way more watery to me. So you might be, you're already a wise person, a wise teacher to your community of people, whoever that may be. But this is more intuition, it's more otherworldly, and so this may be something you're just starting on. You're just starting to pursue, or you're just getting interested in it. And maybe it's at the right time in your life. Like you've had to be practical for whatever reason. Maybe you were raised in a family or something, or helping other people out. You just now have time to start delving into this a little bit, your psychic abilities. So, okay. That's all I have for pile 2. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Namaste. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 3 for your messages, what are your strengths? This is what we got going on here. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you this card again. Isn't that beautiful? Love it. Pile 3 did have the Arrowhead Obsidian on it, which is good for getting rid of negativity. So that's cool. Okay, so I am pulling cards as I go through today. As I go through the reading, I'm just going to pull some Universal Tarot here, and then I'll pull some of the Sacred Contracts. These are archetypes. Let's see if that comes out again, huh? Okay. So my pile 3s, what are your strengths? Let's see, what are your strengths? Again, this is probably just a reminder from Spirit about what your strengths are. A lot of times we already know what our strengths are. The last reading, there was a little bit of a surprise at the end, like Spirit was surprised that group with strength that I don't think they knew they had. So that was kind of cool. And then sometimes Spirit is just saying, okay, remember what your strengths are. This is just a little bit of a reminder because some situations coming up that you're going to be needing those. You're going to be needing to rely on those strengths that you have. What are the strengths of pile 3 here? Pile 3. All right. Got the Queen of Pentacles. You got the 8 of Swords. The Queen of Swords. The King of Pentacles, the Hierophant. I'm gonna go one more. I want one more. Tell us one more thing. You got 3 more. It's fine. 10 of Swords, 4 of Swords, and 7 of Wands. Okay, I'm getting Gemini, Virgo, Taurus, Aquarius. So you may be one of those, or you may just have the traits of one of those. So, but there is a lot of air in here with all these swords. There's a lot of air in here. So let's talk about the air signs. That is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They are very mental. They're very communicative. They are very idealistic. They are great thinkers. They use their intellect, head over heart, right, to make decisions. Your mind is a steel trap. You guys are very smart, very logical. You know, you just know. You know when is the right time to end something. You know when is the right time to give it a rest. You know when is the right time to walk away from it, to protect yourself from it, to isolate yourself from a situation. I'm also picking up some practicality here with those coins there. So not only do you have the mental capacity, not only are you very smart, you're also very grounded and practical and stable and down to earth. So those are your strengths. That's what's showing up here as your strength. Your practicality and your mind, your ideas. Let's pull some of these sacred contracts here. These are like archetypes. So let's see what other messages we're getting here for pile 3. How many of those are in there? All right. Father. Gambler. Thief. Go one more here. Are you a storyteller? That's what I want to know. I think some of you might be storytellers. And your stories, I think you're kind of traditional. Your stories might be very traditional. Like even, I'm thinking fairy tales. Do you guys like to tell fairy tales? I'm getting Disney princess in this, damsel in distress kind of thing. With the castle back there. Sleeping Beauty. warrior tales. Do you like to tell stories about great battles and medieval times? Monk or nun? Selfless, devoted, and single-mindedness spirit. Okay. So you guys do have some cards here that talk about that talk about prayer, that talk about traditional religion, that talk about maybe being, or even Virgo talks about like maybe being, I don't want to say cloistered, but maybe. I can't imagine that a cloistered nun or a monk would be watching a tarot reading, but there's also almost that feeling of you're devoted to a spiritual practice. Or your devotion to a spiritual practice is your strength. You're so devoted to it that you're one of those kind, like if you do meditation, you get up every morning and you do meditation. If you are in like the Christian faith, you get up and you do your devotional every morning. It's that kind of thing. And that's kind of a strength for you. So that's what this is all about, your strengths, right? So the universe is saying, these are your strengths. These are helping you. I feel like there's some family people here too. Talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. I'm getting marriage here, marriage and family. Very traditional marriage and family, and you're guiding that family. Now, this says father. That does not necessarily mean that you are a man. You can be just the head of the household. It's the head of the household whether you're a woman or a man. So take that as it resonates. So with this theme, thief and this gambler here, I'm getting that you have, one of your strengths is that you are willing to gamble on yourself. Those things within you that cannot be stolen. And I'm coming back to that storytelling. I think you have some kind of a gift here that has to do with storytelling. Maybe you're a filmmaker. Maybe you're a writer. And you're willing to take a risk on those skills that you have because you know that nobody can do it like, okay, so there's nothing new under the sun, right? But like you can get a story idea from something that's already out there, but you just take that nugget of a story and you tell your story. You tell the story that's coming out of your soul. You have faith in that bit of you that nobody can steal that from you. Your story is your story and nobody else can take it. Your take on a traditional story is your unique take on a traditional story, and nobody else can do it the way that you can do it. So I'm definitely getting a lot of mental. So those people, mental people, are the writers. They are the story. They are the filmmakers. They are. They're probably not the. They could be like the talent. They could be like the actors, but mostly it's not that. It's the people behind the scenes that push things forward, that get the ideas. That's what it is. The people behind the scenes that are getting the ideas out into the world. And this goes along with holding on to that, but holding on to that which you know you're the only person that can do, because you have this personal, unique gift inside of you that nobody can take away from you, even if that story or some element of that story has already been told. Your strength is your ideas, and getting those ideas out into the world, and having the courage to get those ideas out in the world. Okay, that's one of your strengths. One of your strengths is being a guiding force for your family. You're very good at that. And then another one of your strengths is this devotion that you have to your faith, whatever that is to you. It sustains you. It helps you in so many ways. And it may be even the driving force that helps you with your confidence and your storytelling ability and your ability to get your ideas out into the world. Producers, directors, writers. Who else tells stories? Filmmakers, YouTube people, they tell stories, right? Bloggers. People that just get up and speak. Maybe, maybe even in church or something. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to find out is what your spiritual strengths are, what your spiritual gifts are, which is interesting because it kind of came through on this, like that you do have that spiritual devotion that is a strength for you. But let's just find out. All right, spiritual gifts for pile 3. You got She-Wolf, Unleash the Wild Within. Earth Guardian, Stay Rooted and Grounded. Drum, Dream and Journey. And Elder, Move Beyond Ancestral Patterns. Okay, so one of your spiritual gifts is being able to go out and dance naked in the moonlight. It is, I mean, it's not technically that, but it is being able to unleash that wild side of you, like when it's all pent up, and when you need to let it go, so when you need to go out. And I'm not kidding, dance in the moonlight or do something very, I don't want to say tribal, but primal, to just let that go. So that is a gift for you spiritually, and maybe you help other people, because usually your spiritual gifts are gifts that you pass on to other people as well. So that is one of yours, being able to unleash when you know you need to, and helping other people do that. Going back to this stable, traditional family thing, I think that you are very grounded as a human being, and that is a light, that's a beacon to all the other people around you. You are teaching people how to be grounded, how to be one with the earth. Both of these are very, I want to say, what is like, I don't know, maybe I don't like to talk about religions, because I'm a Unitarian. I embrace all religions, but I think spirituality is way more important. This is very, but this is very Druid. This is very earthy. It's very Wicca. It's very in conjunction with nature. Your spiritual gifts have to do with being in sync with nature, and all of these are very tribal. The drum, very sacred in Native American tradition, very used in Celtic tradition. The beat of the drum for dances, for dancing out in the moonlight, for for tribal dances, for spiritual dances, that kind of thing. And then this Aborigine, this is all very, your spiritual gifts are your connection to the earth and your knowledge of those old tribal and what are they? Old tribal, that's what it is. It's old tribal beliefs that were formulated or were built around the natural world, around earth, around Mother Nature. Those are your spiritual gifts. So if you, maybe those have been passed down to you generation to generation, and maybe that's what you're passing down to this next generation. Maybe you don't know yet that these are your gifts, that this is inside of you, and maybe the universe is telling you it's time to study up on these so that you can share them with your posterity, with your kids, or with whoever is in your community, your circle. But it's very tribal, it's very earthy, Native American, Aborigines, Celtics, who else? I'm sure there's so many things that I don't know about out there. So many religions and spiritual beliefs and whatever. I'm sure the Mayans probably had some connection to the earth, and the earth cycles. It's that kind of thing. So you'll know better than me because I'm not that good with that myself. I'm learning some of that kind of stuff myself. So. But that is your gift, and that's what you're intended to share with the world on a spiritual level. All right, that's all I have for my pile 3s. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Oh my gosh, okay, hold on. I have to, this is an Arrowhead Native American. You guys might have that, or you know that in your, or you have it in your ancestry, or this is saying it's so far back there you don't know, but you need to learn about it. It's time to learn about it and bring that out and show that to the world. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for pile 3. Until next time, I'm sending lots of light and love. Namaste. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 4, these are going to be your messages. What are your strengths? Pile 4 did have the Sodalite on it and this really pretty card. Isn't that something? Dragon. Okay. I am pulling cards as I go through the readings this time. So, here's the question on deck. What are the strengths for the people who are watching pile 4? 6 of Cups. I'm going to get some Universal Tarot. Then I'm going to pull some Sacred Contracts. These are archetypes. So I'll pull some of those. And then in the end, I will see if I can find out what your spiritual strengths are, what your spiritual gifts are. Okay, so what are the strengths for pile 4 today? Pile 4. What are the strengths? Okay, that was a lot, so I'm going to take it. Queen of Pentacles, Empress, 3 of Wands. Is that it? Do you have any more for anything else for pile 4? Anything else for pile 4? The Magician. What are your strengths? Oh, Lord, I see a lot of yellow here. So we got sacral chakra energy, which is drive, ambition. That's your strength. I mean, you have drive and ambition. You know how to make things happen. All right, let's see what else for pile 4. What else do we have for pile 4 here? Addict, I'll pour. Okay, I think that is plenty. Shapeshifter. Seeker. Queen. I already saw that. Yeah, that's already in the cards here. Femme Fatale. Actually, it's more like this. And Monk or Nun? Seeker. Goes with the Seeker. Okay. Let's start with that addict here. Okay, so here's the thing. I said there's a lot of drive and ambition here. So when you have that kind of personality, I'm totally feeling a lot of fire energy in this reading here. When you have that kind of personality, you can be a little bit compulsive about things, right? Go, 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 go. Do, do, do. I have desires. I have needs. I have to do this. I have to do this. So that can, compulsions, you know, that all comes along with the addict thing. So what this is telling me, because this is in your strength reading, is telling me that you do recognize that you have a bit of an addictive personality. So because you have that addictive personality, you use that to become addicted to good things, to things that serve you. Maybe it's working out every day. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's your passion. Whatever it is, you use that. You know you're going to get so absorbed in something. So why not get absorbed in the good things? So that coming out as a strength is really quite cool. Okay, so as far as signs, we have a little bit of Aquarius and a little bit of Taurus on the table. But mostly I'm just getting, this is probably, you guys are probably majority female or identify as female, because there's such a strong feminine energy in this reading. Femme Fatale talks about your strength as you know that you're very sensual and sexual, but you use it in a very responsible way. You don't, you know, just go out there and sleep with everybody, or you don't use that seduction to get what you want. You use it very responsibly. It is a part of who you are, and that's all it is. It's just a part of who you are. You're very aware of it, and you're very okay with it. And like I said, you use it responsibly. You are a queen. That is showing up as the Empress. It's showing up as the Queen of Pentacles, a very lush and abundant and practical queen who, let's talk about this. You're not just, this is not the money queen. This is not, when I say abundance, there's that, of course. You know how to take care of yourself. You know how to get the coin when you need it. It is way more than that. It is abundance in all areas of your life. It is abundant health, abundant wealth, abundant fun, abundant relationships. It is abundant adventures. It is just a lush, wonderful world that you have created for yourself here, and that is your strength. And to me, this looks like, I'm gonna just say it's living in an attitude of gratitude that brings this to you, and I think that's your strength. You're very grateful for the natural beauty out in the world. You're very grateful for the abilities that you have, for the things that you have, for the people that are in your life. You're just very grateful, and that just pulls more into you all the time. Okay, so the Seeker here, I think you are, and the Monk talks about religion. It talks about faith and religion. I feel like you are a spiritual person. I think you're now the Monk talks about a selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit is what it says here. And then the seeker talks about thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. So I think you're on a spiritual journey, and I feel like that is really, really important to you. And with this coming out in the strength, I feel like it's going to be it serves you in some way. For it to be your strength, it's this seeking spiritual knowledge that you have, and being devoted to seeking that knowledge is a strength for you. And it might be a situation where, you know, that you might be able to use it in some way in the near future. Shapeshifter says, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. That goes right. This is all very spiritual, all of this. And maybe you're coming into these levels of consciousness and that kind of thing. That's kind of deep as far as spirituality is concerned, but you're on the path. This talks about it too. You're on the path to you're pursuing it. It's your maybe a single-minded. Did it say single-minded? It does. It says single-minded. It's like a single-minded pursuit for you, and that is your strength. That's just what the cards are saying. That is one of your strengths. But overall, what I'm getting that your strength is just your ability to embrace the world, to go out there and make goals for yourself and say, I'm going to do this, and then do it. You have all the tools in you to create this beautiful, lush, wonderful, abundant life. And again, that is not just money. That is completely, that's just completely in all areas. And this, I feel like, is getting ready to become really important to you guys in manifesting something that you want. Because that Magician card is the card of manifesting. But you are on a spiritual journey. And Spirit's just reminding you that this is important right now. These strengths, again, we all have a lot of strengths in us, but the Spirit is reminding you that these are important right now. Maybe because something is getting ready to come up that you're going to need to rely on them. All right, so the last thing I want to get is your spiritual gifts. This is going to be interesting because you've already it's kind of laid out there. Okay. What are your spiritual strengths or your spiritual gifts? All right. Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Broken Arrow, embrace the energy of peace. So your spiritual gifts are manifesting. You really are a master manifester. You really are able to create abundance around you. A beautiful, abundant life, again, in all areas. Definitely has to do with nature. Definitely has to do with trading your talents for, money. And also, you are, and I think through this process, maybe this process of seeking your a peace seeker, and I think you share that with other people. Yep. You're driving in. It's solar plexus energy. It's drive. It's ambition. It's the ability to act. It's the ability to make things happen, and that is yours. It's a spiritual gift for you as well. It's not just manifesting material things in this world. It's manifesting the life that you want and teaching other people how to manifest the life that they want. Planting seeds and watching them grow. All right, that's all I have for my pile fours. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Namaste.